Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down Bihar's ambitious blueprint for 2026. We're talking massive infrastructure projects, sweeping educational reforms, the whole 9 yards. We'll look at the plans shaping the future of one of India's most populous states, and we'll have to ask, can these huge visions actually become a reality?
So let's get right into it. How exactly is Bihar trying to build its future? We're going to explore everything from new highways designed to connect the state like never before to a pretty bold plan to make every single school a safe zone. And look, these aren't just policies sitting on paper. These are real initiatives that could totally transform the daily lives of millions.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. We're going to cover 4 key areas. We'll kick things off with the physical stuff, the infrastructure. Then we'll shift to the people, looking at how the next generation is being prepared. After that, we'll see how all this actually impacts homes and farms. And finally, we'll get into the real challenge, turning all these plans into reality. Okay, first step, infrastructure. This is where you can literally see the change happening on the ground. We're talking about massive construction projects that aren't just changing the landscape, but are really aiming to redefine how people live, work, and get around in Bihar. So to make cities safer and, let's be honest, way less congested, the government has given the green light for over 60 new foot-over bridges. In a super busy city like Patna, which is slated to get half a dozen of them, this is a really practical step towards making daily commutes just a little bit easier. But these bridges are really just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. They're part of this larger Sarak Suraksha plan that's all about making Bihar's roads safer for everybody. This includes really common sense stuff like wider zebra crossings so you can actually see them, new traffic signals, and clearing out illegal encroachments to create more space for people to walk. And then you've got this absolute game changer, the Danapur-Bihata elevated corridor. With an investment of nearly 2,000 crore rupees, this 25-kilometer highway is going to do more than just ease traffic around Patna's airport. It's set to become a vital economic artery, connecting businesses and communities in a way that just wasn't possible before. Of course, building a better future isn't just about roads and bridges, right? It's about investing in people. So let's shift gears and focus on education and see what Bihar is doing to equip its students with the skills and, frankly, the safety they need to thrive. Now, just try to imagine this for a second. Every single one of Bihar's 80,000 government schools becoming a hub of safety and preparedness. That's the huge goal of the Chief Minister's School Safety Program. It's a really monumental effort to empower students with actual life-saving skills. So how does it actually work? Well, it's a very systematic approach. Each school will set up a disaster committee, they'll train student leaders, and most importantly, they'll hold mock drills every single Saturday for everything you can think of. Fires, floods, even heat waves. The idea is to involve the entire school community. But here's the tough part. Creating a world-class education system isn't just about new programs. It's about making sure the quality is there. And this is where Bihar faces a really serious challenge. While the state wants to hire qualified teachers through its Public Service Commission, there's an investigation into almost 3,900 new teachers in just one district for alleged credential fraud. This doesn't just undermine the integrity of the whole system, it puts the future of thousands of students at risk. So, with all this going on, what does it mean for the average person? How do these developments actually translate into direct benefits? Let's take a look at some of the economic incentives being offered to households and to the state's huge agricultural sector.
Now, this is a pretty smart move to put more money back in people's pockets. The state power company is offering a 20% discount on electricity used during the daytime. So just by shifting when you use your appliances to between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., a family could actually save a noticeable amount on their monthly bills. Okay, now let's turn to agriculture, which is, of course, the backbone of Bihar's economy. The big question here is, how do you make sure farmers get the best possible price for all their hard work? Well, a huge part of that answer is tackling post-harvest losses. And here is a beautifully simple yet really powerful solution. The government is offering a subsidy of up to 1 lakh rupees for farmers to buy solar dryers. This kind of technology lets them preserve crops like tomatoes and mangoes, protecting them from spoiling and giving them the freedom to sell when the market prices are actually at their highest. All right, finally, we get to the most complex piece of this whole puzzle, governance. This is where all those ambitious plans collide with the messy reality of actually getting things done.
It's where the real battle for transparency and accountability is being fought.
So you've got top officials publicly promising to increase transparency. They're saying they'll crack down on these deep-rooted issues like illegal mining and corruption. The stated goal is a more responsive government where public funds are actually used effectively. But the opposition tells a dramatically different story. They're pointing to data that ranks Bihar dead last in the country on 31 key development indicators, everything from literacy to income. And this creates a sharp, pretty undeniable contrast. On one side, you have a government promoting this vision of progress, and on the other, an opposition armed with data that suggests a state in crisis.
So, what have we seen? We've looked at the blueprint for a new Bihar, new highways, safer schools, and a push for a more prosperous economy. But we've also seen the deep-seated challenges that stand in the way. This leaves us with a really critical question. Are these ambitious plans enough to overcome decades of underdevelopment, or will that gap between the vision and the on-the-ground reality prove just too wide to bridge? That, right there, is the question that's going to define Bihar's future.